City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. As always, here we are diving in on yet another live stream here on the channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All that good shit. Share it. We truly appreciate it. But we are here talking Steelers, and as the days tick by, as more and more time passes this offseason, and I know it's been brief so far. The Super Bowl has just wrapped up not long ago, but you've not heard any news concerning George Pickens, and that makes me start to wonder, are the Steelers willing to not do business with George? Are they thinking possibly they could get some sort of return for George Pickens in terms of high value draft capital? Perhaps maybe something this season and something for next year to really pack a punch and go after somebody special in the draft. Maybe at the quarterback position. Just some of the things that are running through my head as the days tick by. Robert Rowe, what's up? Robert says maybe they can get a second or early, maybe they could get a second or early third round pick for him. Maybe use that for another trade for 2026 draft. Absolutely, Robert. My sentiments exactly also. We're on the same wavelength there, my friend. Good to see you. But definitely we are on the same page, and I feel like that seems to be the path. I don't know. Something's telling me that the longer this thing goes on, the longer you hear absolutely nothing regarding George Pickens and what the possibilities are for an extension, what the possibilities are for them heading into next season with George Pickens, and what they want to surround their quarterback that they may pick up, whoever that may be. To have those weapons at their disposal. Does George Pickens fit into that fold? Or have they had enough of watching him go half-ass? Questions. And I think the answers are going to soon be upon us. The official release of one Preston Smith was announced today. That package was put out there, the official paperwork, all that good shit. So that is on the books. And I did look it up. And you look at now the Steelers sitting, I believe, at roughly around $60 million in cap space, guys. And we're going to talk about what they will do with that. And possibly, again, how that all ties into the George Pickens saga. Again, there's some wide receivers out there. News. Daniel Warman sent me a message, and we'll talk about that. Let me dive into the chat. He sent something in the comments because he's a Bengals fan. He said something that will go into this conversation a little bit. Black and gold first to do so. Miss Pittsburgh in the house. Wave that terrible towel. Zach Curry in the house. How you doing, JJ? I heard some news that JF2 is looking around at other teams. I think it's just clickbait. Could be real, though. Yeah, I told you that last night, guys. He's going to have extreme interest. Again, you don't have to do a shit ton to get to be popular in the NFL at the quarterback position because everybody is so desperate to find that franchise guy, to find that guy that is going to be able to guide them into the playoffs. So, yeah, he's going to garner a lot of attention. I don't think that that's clickbait. That's usually, in my eyes, what I've been telling you guys for a while now, that Justin Fields is going to have that attention put on him. He will have suitors. How many that may be, not sure. But I could say it's going to be a good half dozen. And I know that isn't really great news for the Pittsburgh Steelers, considering I think the path that they want to follow. But yeah, definitely is going to be something to keep an eye on. Black and gold, keep him. I can't blame him for being a playmaker and being asked to block 80% of the time. Every time we moved the ball, it went through him. I can't blame him in some aspects, but then some aspects I can, black and gold. And I don't discount your comment because I think you're partially right. I think you have definitely something good to say there because they did require him to do a lot in the blocking game, but he still played half-ass in that. And the problem I have with that, black and gold, is this. This is a team game, the ultimate team game. And if you're not participating on 100% of the snaps, you really have no use on a football team. When the ball is coming to you, well and good. You want to go 100%? Great. But every play counts, and every play plays into the dynamic of the game plan. And if you're not going to be present each and every snap, you're not of any value. And I understand what you said, because you're like, hey, every big play, everything that looks like moving the football for the Steelers goes through George Pickens. And that was the truth. But again, we're discounting 95% of the playbook because George is going half-ass. He did cause plays that were negative. Again, I always turn back to that one against the Kansas City Chiefs when the Steelers went down there and Russell Wilson put a fucking laser beam onto Pat Freiermuth. The only place that Pat could have had a chance to catch it. It was absolutely a perfect ball, in my opinion. And George Pickens ran his shit half-assed, causing the safety that was over top help to go back there and literally just take that ball away. He had an easy play. It was very easy. And that play was dependent on George having that over-the-top help with the safety. That play demanded George to run his route at an exceptionally high value, high rate of speed, giving 100%. And he didn't do that. And that caused a significant problem during that play. That really, in my opinion, killed the Steelers in that game. And I know they probably wouldn't have won that game. It is what it is, but that really was a real dagger, in my opinion, when you've moved the football down the field and your quarterback that doesn't love the throw across the middle puts a beautiful ball, and it's absolutely taken away because of subpar play on the edges. Everything got to work together, guys. And that's where I have the major hangups. When you're looking at an offensive unit and you're looking at what they got to do each and every play, every player has a role. And no matter how insignificant it may seem, you still got to go hard, man. And that's where you valued players of the past like Hines Ward. And I know I've used him as an example before, but man, is he a person, a player that you got to use as the example, because that guy went 1,000% each and every snap, whether it was coming to him or not. He was coming to knock your head off. He was coming to play football. He was coming to give every ounce of him to his football team. And that's what you're looking for. And when you get away from bringing those types of players in and you become okay with allowing players to be half-ass and lazy and literally just taking plays off, once you allow that into your building, it spreads like a cancer. And I don't think George learned this on his own. I don't. I think the contamination of one Deontay Johnson put this into George's head, and it's just continued to be a theme. I think George felt entitled when he started to make those big plays, and he got a little bit of an ego and a little bit of a big head and really lost sight of what football is all about, and that is all 11 out there busting their ass, working as a well-oiled machine, down in and down out. That's just my take on the whole situation in terms of George and what the Steelers should do. And we're going to talk about what they should do, in my opinion, and just how this plan should all shake out. But right now, guys, I need you to double tap that screen, hit that like button, send us out into that YouTube algorithm. We truly appreciate you stopping by each and every single day. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We are definitely in a little bit of a lull here. I definitely ask for prayers. My grandmother is not doing well, so I haven't been recording daily uploads. I've been also doing things for work. Things of that nature. So definitely we're in a little bit of a lull here, man. I know I've asked for prayers before, but more than ever now, I'd appreciate that. So we're going to try to continue to get through the chat here. Yes, Miss Pittsburgh is in the building, waving that terrible towel. Appreciate you, Zachary. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great evening. Craig Warlow in house. I swear the Steelers are taking dumbass pills because a report that the Steelers are interested in Daniel Jones. I think that report has to be a little bit stupid too, Craig, and I hope it's clickbait. I hope it's not a true story. I hope it's not something the Steelers would be interested in. But then again, for what they need to do this season, it might not be so dumb if they could get him on a cheap deal. Because, again, guys, this all works toward 2026. And I told you guys that last night. And I know it may be painful. And I know it may not be exactly what we want as a fan base. And it is what it is. We're Pittsburgh Steelers fans. We expect winners. We expect championships. And anything less than that is unacceptable. And that is perfectly okay. That is awesome. And that's what I love about Steelers Nation. That's what I love about Pittsburgh people in general, is that winning is the only thing that matters. And I truly, truly appreciate that. And I believe that's what's made me the fan I am for Pittsburgh sports. And winning is it. And when you fall short and you don't achieve that goal, yeah, people can make fun of it. People can call it corny. People can say, oh, you're whatever, Steelers suck, blah, blah, blah. They can make fun of all the shit that we talk about in the city of Pittsburgh. But you know what? It's real shit. And it's really what winners are built and made of. Winners want that every game to have that win, and we're gonna lose our fucking minds if we don't. If the Steelers don't win or your sports team doesn't win, yeah, we're gonna lose our minds about it. And again, that is okay. But you know what? Sometimes we have to broaden our eyes open a little bit and just think to ourselves of the broader picture and hope that team that we're supporting is also on that same page of understanding the complexities of building for the future and taking your time and pre-planning and doing the things necessary and making the painstaking moves in order to get better. That's what we're hoping right now. And again, it's a bitter pill to swallow, my friends. It is a definite bitter pill to swallow because I never want to see a team flop. I want to see them go all out. And the path that I would like them to take doesn't mean that you flop. It doesn't mean that you go out there and you just lay down and take your lumps and say, oh, we're just aiming for 2026. That doesn't mean that. What I would love the Steelers to do is take some of the high value players that they have currently on this roster and understand that they're probably not going to win a championship with them and that they have to go out there and utilize those players to bring a return on investment to prepare for the future. And sometimes ripping it down is the only thing that you can do. But the Steelers find themselves in a unique situation. They don't have to rip it all down. They have one or two players in-house right now that they can dangle out there as trade bait. They can go out there and bolster their draft capital in a major, major way and heavily influence the future of this franchise. And taking 1 year to where you may not necessarily be ultra competitive and you may take a losing season under Mike Tomlin, that corny, stupid fucking record that they hang their hat on. You may have that happen. But what happens for the future is definitely way better, hopefully. The plan, hopefully, is executed. You do find that guy, and you blossom that player into something that gets you 10 to 20 years of great success, of always being in a mix, of always being in a team that people don't want to play. So it's like a trade-off, You got to trade some of the good, some of the bad, and man, does it suck to look at the broad picture sometimes, guys. It really, really does. But if you look at this draft, you look at the quarterback landscape of the NFL currently, there is no real clear path for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be one quarterback away from all of a sudden being a championship contender. There is no clear path for George Pickens to just be that much of a contributor. There is no clear path that if you keep a Minkah Fitzpatrick on the roster, paying him $18 million per season, that he contributes enough to make you a championship contender. None of those things make sense. None of those things lead to a Lombardi right now, sadly. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a move that could magically pop out of thin air and you make something happen and you get it done and all of a sudden this team hits it. I'm not saying that can't happen because it can. But the odds are that's not going to happen. And reality is you need to fucking stockpile right now and go after somebody in a quarterback rich draft of 2026 that I believe will be way better than this one. Now, you may hit on a mid round guy this year. You may. You just may. You may not be able to sign Justin Fields. You may go out there in the third round and get that guy from Ohio State. You may get Jackson Dart. You may get somebody inside of the draft that you just throw in there and say, you know what, here's your chance. Make it happen. What can you do with this team? Because we had a ton of money in free agency. We went out there, we loaded the cupboard full of high-quality playmakers, high-quality talent on the defensive side of the football, and really bolstered this roster to where a quarterback doesn't have to carry it, and you guys could be successful if you have good to serviceable play. And maybe one of those guys shine. Maybe one of those guys take off. Maybe one of those guys develop into that next franchise quarterback. Perhaps that's the way this all goes. But we'll see. Sorry, Craig, that's probably not the answer to your question, but I just went off on my soapbox a little bit. So sometimes I do that. But again, I don't want the Daniel Jones shit, but sometimes you got to have a plan C. I think they have a plan A. That's Justin Fields. I think they have a plan B. That's bringing back Russell Wilson. I think a plan C perhaps could be somebody like a Daniel Jones. Perhaps. But again, guys, this all has to work into the financial part of this, the side of the building. It has to. And if that doesn't happen, don't look for any of these moves to go. They're going to roll in there with what they got. Sadly, it's nobody. They're not going to go out there and pay an arm and a leg. I just don't feel like this is the year to do that. Armin, what's up? Austin Gossel, what's up? Danny George in the house. Zah Curry with Tomlin as coach. Don't expect intelligent moves. True, Zah. Mark Collins in the house. I say send Pickens to New England for a second and Joe Milton the third. Yeah, man. Hey, I'll take it. Austin Gossel, is Preston Smith still with the Steelers? No, he is not. He is officially released from the Pittsburgh Steelers, giving them a $13 million cap savings, guys, because there was no way in hell that they were going to pay Preston Smith $13 million for 2025. It was always the plan when you brought Preston Smith in for that 7th round pick. It was always to cut ties with him, but that doesn't say they don't bring him back on a far cheaper deal after he goes out there and tests the market and sees what he can get. That's not saying that you don't see Preston Smith back in the black and gold. Can you say, no, 6-7 go Steelers? I don't know what that means. Mark, I think that he's going to be offered at least $15 million. I really do. I don't think that that's a ton in terms of what the quarterback is. But I cannot see anything lower right now when you're having multiple teams involved. I can't see anything lower than $12.5 million. I just can't per season. And that's a good payday for Justin considering the production that he's had. Definitely is. If I'm the Steelers, I am only offering Justin Fields at max $12.5 to $15 million per season. And that is a very short contract. I am not committing to him 5-6 years. I'm just not doing it. He's not going to get a Baker Mayfield type deal, at least not from the Steelers. And that's why Justin Fields is definitely going to go out there and see what's available. Because there is a team out there that's probably maybe dumb enough to just do that and be that attached to him. I like Justin, and I want to see him in the black and gold in 2026 or 2025 because I think that that's the only logical answer right now, sadly. I don't think there's a better move the Steelers can make in terms of financial the financial part of it, draft capital part of it, and just what's available on the market. So 12.5, 15 is it. And if Justin doesn't want to do that, then you got to let him go. Then you go to your plan B, plan C. And maybe it is a rookie in the draft. Maybe. Again, guys, I've been looking at a lot of Jackson Dart stuff, and I would not be opposed to Jackson Dart in the black and gold and giving him a shot. I think he's a guy that could come in and play. I do. I think also That Howard kid from Ohio State could come in and play. Those are my two favorites because I think that you could get them from the second to the third. I do. Maybe Jackson Dart rises up a little bit more. I don't know, but I think that you could get that done. I think it's a real possibility. Black and gold. I'd trade him for Waddle or Garrett and a pick. Yeah, you just got to really be careful of what you're getting there, man. I'd rather have picks if I were to trade George Pickens. Again, guys, I think you can handle through the draft and free agency. I think you can handle the wide receiver position and get a solid group in there for 25. I definitely do. I don't think it would be crazy to believe that they couldn't. But two, possibly, maybe they just hold on to George Pickens until the trade deadline and see how things roll, and keep him and have his services. If they're doing good, they keep him. If they're not, they trade him off. Maybe that's the case, Maybe if they reached a trade deadline and this team's falling apart and they are in the fucking basement and there ain't no hope of them coming out of it, maybe they say, let's get what we can get for George Pickens now. Let's go ahead and take that draft capital for 2026 and really try to make a big move in the draft. Send Pickens to the Packers from Austin. I actually agree with you, Mark. And look, hell is freezing over. It is chilly outside. Hey, it is cold, guys. It is cold. All the media pushing to a new quarterback might make him look bad, but some team will definitely outbid. There's going to be big-time suitors, man. But I think, too, a lot of environment, team, and things of that nature are going to play into it with Justin because I hope that his representation is smart enough to understand the total package and just not jump at the money only. I think it has to be everything for Justin. I think Justin has to put himself in the most ideal situation to increase his value. This isn't the time that Justin goes out there and breaks the bank for a football team. This isn't that moment. Justin's moment could possibly be after next season or the year after that. That's when Justin could potentially make the big dollars. And I know that may be a little bit behind schedule for Justin, but he had a very rocky and shaky ride with the Chicago Bears, and his production wasn't enough with the Pittsburgh Steelers that warrants any type of large money. Yeah, Justin's got to look and really realize that 2026, 2027 is probably his time to get a payday, but man, he's got to really produce to get that payday. All right, guys, double tap that screen for us here on Steel City Live, only here on Mic Drop Sports. We are diving through all of your chat questions here tonight. Let's chase 100 likes like we always are attempting to do. So, again, double tap that screen. It's absolutely free to do so. And also, if you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Join the conversation here each and every single day. Let's continue. Jose, Fire Mike T. Black and gold, yeah, I agree. He had many deliberate sellout plays, and that's why I'm on the fence with him. Yeah, and I think it's put the organization on the fence with him, definitely. J Mel, what do you mean talk properly? I don't know what do you want me to say? If you're such an English major, you're welcome to email me at micdropsports@yahoo.com, and you're welcome to come on to the show, and you can give us all your infinite wisdom and all your great English that you want to teach us. Mark Malone, the Clank Johnson can't. Yeah, I still feel like there's some effects of that shit, man. No wonder, everybody wanted to say, oh, it's such a terrible move to get rid of Johnson. The guy's been on 100 fucking teams since he left here, guys. The writing's on the wall. It wasn't a bad move. Definitely, I believe with what Mark's saying. It is a cancer, man, and it's definitely eating up people. Arthur also needs to be more creative with his playmaker. Skoranek was a beast in blocking, but also I can see CA3 blocking on a Najee toss. Yeah, CA3 gets you. He's a little limited in that category. That size does matter in some of those instances for sure. Yeah, it is one of those things. But yeah, Ben was a beast in the blocking. But if you're going to be a number one wide receiver in this league, you got to be able to do it all. And let's just face it, George wasn't doing it all. Yeah, he's highly gifted. He's highly athletic. He can make insane plays that probably most people can't. But you know what? You got to show up and show out each and every play if you're going to be that number one. If you're going to be the guy, you got to act like it, and you got to carry yourself like that. What's up, G Stacks? Thank you, man. Thank you, Miss P. Thank you, Za. Appreciate it, Danny. Chad, prayer. Thank you, man. Daniel Warman in the house. Pickens is talented, but hasn't done much to prove himself. You hate to lose him, but yeah, definitely, Daniel. And I wanted to bring up something Daniel said. He had said that he had heard that the Bengals are trying to offer or try to bring back T. Higgins on that franchise tag. So, that maybe takes somebody off the market. But how does that look for the Cincinnati Bengals? Again, you as a franchise, it is going to be next to near impossible to pay two top-end wide receivers at top dollar market value along with a franchise quarterback. And what the sad thing is there in Cincinnati for me is you have a generational talent in Joe Burrow and a generational talent in Jamar Chase. And you have a outstanding wide receiver in T. Higgins. Seems like a real stand-up dude, and you would love to keep him. But when you're dealing with two generational talents, you don't want to risk not being able to put a team around those players. And I think that puts that Bengals team into a bind, and I don't know if it's the right move. Yeah, having Jamar both at the same time makes your offense very potent, but when you're talking about building the rest of the franchise, I don't understand how you can do that and fit that all under the salary cap and have enough players to really be productive in terms of high-value players. Because let's face it, guys, the Bengals would have to be almost absolutely perfect in their acquisitions and free agency. They would have to be very cheap, and they have to hit on everyone. And they would have to really hit on every draft pick in order to keep that roster and that cupboard full of high-value talent. They really would. They'd be backing themselves into a real corner, and they would really be betting the house on their front office staff not to make any mistakes because, man, it would be a very slippery slope if you were keeping both of them on very large contracts, guys. But it could happen. I hate to see that for T because I think T deserves to have his security, his deal. I do. Now, he's going to be a very wealthy man making that franchise tag money. But still, I would love to see T get the opportunity to have a long deal. J-Mel, what do you really need? Yeah. No, I don't want anything free, man. We pay for our stuff. I'm not a big free person. I feel like everybody should earn their way. That's just me. I love healthcare though for people that can't get it done. I'm all about that. It's okay. Everybody isn't in the same situation, and I'm not like opposed to that. But like my grandma, she worked her whole life, school teacher. She's built enough to be able to take care of herself. So definitely, we try not to, at least our family, we try not to do that kind of stuff. But if you need it, you need it. And that's okay. I just try not to. Daniel Warman, thank you, man. Appreciate the prayers. Black and Gold Smith also has a pattern of going away from the pass when he has the opposing D on their heels and totally stalls their drive with a run play. I just hope we have another great draft and find cheap free agents. Yeah, schematics are a big key, man. Definitely. And Arthur Smith definitely failed in that category. But again, I feel like a lot of that falls back onto Mike Tomlin in the marching orders that he gives his coaching staff, guys. It's the same result every time, no matter who's the coordinator, no matter who's in that building in terms of coaches. It doesn't matter. The marching orders are the same. Conservative, limit mistakes in terms of pushing the ball down the field. He doesn't want to see it. He wants to see that run be dominant by any means necessary. He wants the Steelers to be known as that team that runs it down your throat, and that's all that he wants to see. He doesn't want to see the crazy plays. He just doesn't. That's the way Mike coaches. Good for you, Reaper. I'm glad you like Kenny Pickett, man. I'm glad he could contribute for you guys. I'm glad he's in. I'm glad he's in Philly. He ain't got no guts. Fun fact: we're the only animal that pays for food. Yeah, man. I would love to be a homesteader. I would. I'd love to grow my own food. I'd love to like have my own cattle and all that. I'd love it. But you know what? Even that ain't free. You have to buy cattle. You have to do all that. I mean, eventually you could get it to where it would cost you nothing if you would really be self sufficient in terms of how you recycled things, how you grew things. Yeah, maybe. But man, that would be awesome to live in Alaska or something somewhere, live out in Montana, somewhere crazy, out in the wilderness, hunting for your food, fishing for your food, living off the land, man. It's so much cleaner, so much healthier. I would love to do that. I've often thought about making a YouTube channel and go camping a lot and try to do those self-sustaining camp out trips with a hot tent. In the wintertime, summertime, do it too. I think it's something I could take my kids and do. I feel like it'd be cool to film content doing that. So that's still something I might do, man, because I really enjoy making content here on YouTube. So I hope to grow that. And again, we have big plans here coming up to grow this thing and be the dominant channel come next season in 2025. We want to be the go-to Pittsburgh Steelers channel. And with your help, I think we can get it done. Mark Collins, sorry, I say trade TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick for as many picks as possible. I wouldn't be pissed about it, Mark. I wouldn't, man. Good to see you. Billy, Chiefs Kingdom, Black Gold. Yeah, Steelers Nation doesn't believe in tanking. We're always believing we can win it all, and rightfully so. Yeah, man. Once you become a winner, you want to stay there. G Stacks, should the Steelers go after Chris Godwin in free agency? Injury, that's your concern with Godwin. Would it work? Maybe. I'm never opposed to going after a high value talent, But again, when you take injuries and financial responsibility into it, it could sway you a little bit. So those factors got to come into play. Yeah, it would be awesome. I love luxury type moves, definitely. And I love moves like that could be a real good fit, a necessity type move. Definitely wouldn't be something I would turn my nose to at all. Ding. Bobby Hester. We will give you Will Levis. Nah, I thought Will Levis was going to be the best quarterback out of that draft. That was something I was very wrong about. It ended up being C.J. Stroud, in my opinion. Draft Howard. Jackson Dart is a baller. Y'all should take Jalen Monroe so he can ruin y'all's season like he did for us. I'm good off of Jalen Monroe, man. Frosty, Steelers suck. Mark Collins. The thing is, we need to go get Ronnie Stanley at left tackle to protect the quarterback. If you can't protect, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. Absolutely, Mark. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would not be opposed to that at all. You're definitely right, and we preach that all off season. Stability along the front, stability in the trenches. If you don't have it, you don't win, and that is point blank, period, guys. You've heard me talk about that constantly, nauseating amount of times. And again, I still feel that the Pittsburgh Steelers have made the right moves in the offensive line department. And I know a lot of people don't think that I'm correct. And I know a lot of people aren't seeing that and they don't feel the same way. And that's okay. I really, though, feel that the Pittsburgh Steelers have made the right moves and that they have a very, very good opportunity in front of them with very young players that are going to gel and going to be very good. And I think the story changes pretty dramatically here in the next couple seasons for your Pittsburgh Steelers along that offensive front. But I'm not opposed to what Mark says, bringing in high-value talent at a pivotal position like tackle, especially the left side. I'm definitely not opposed to that. And if the Steelers were to make a move like that, similar to that, I would be all for it. Why? Because I am all about protection. That is the only thing that matters in this league, in my opinion. And you saw the Philadelphia Eagles win a Super Bowl off of the defensive front. That defensive front was nasty. It just shows you the value in the trenches, period. The big men are the most important players in this game. If they're going and kicking ass, you can really make a mediocre quarterback look pretty damn good, and it's been done many times. All right, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button for us. We got to jump those likes up, double tap that screen, hit the shit out of that like button. It's absolutely free. There's also 3 little white dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen for some of you. You could hit them 3 little white dots, well, those 3 little white dots, and that will bring that like box down for you to hit that free like button. Again, absolutely free. Super chats are always open, super gifts, so make sure if you want to do that to support the channel, you're welcome to. Not a necessity, but welcome to it. And also, there are other ways to support our channel and our efforts here at Mike Drop Sports in the description on the channel page. Oh, excuse me. And also, guys, when we hit 10,000 subscribers, we will be giving away a signed TJ Watt authentic Steelers jersey. Guys, probably worth several $100s already, and it's sealed there. And again, if we reach 12,000, I'll get it authenticated also. And if we reach 15,000 before we do the giveaway, I will have it authenticated and framed, and always free delivery to you. So that, I feel like, is going to be a pretty awesome giveaway. Also, I've been thinking about this too, guys, for giveaways. I go to training camp so much. I get so many things signed, cards, everything. I'm going to put together a gift basket type thing and take it up there, and I'm going to get it signed. Not for me. I'm going to try to get players to sign it, and they're not going to be for me. I'm going to do that as opposed to doing like money giveaways and things of that nature. I'm going to take that basket up there and as many things as I can get signed by specific players, cards, shirts, whatever, hats, terrible towels, maybe programs. I have old programs. Maybe you can get some of the older Steelers to sign them. Too bad. I got Franco. I got Chuck. 2 guys that are definitely passed on but sorely missed. I have other media guides that were given to me by Boone. Appreciate that, a friend of mine. So definitely things that I can get signed. I'm going to do that and make that part of our giveaway package over the preseason. That's when that will start, because we will hit training camp hard and heavy, man. So hopefully we'll have some really cool gifts to give away to you guys. Let's keep going. Alexis, what's up? DMB, does Pickens have the worst attitude out of all the Steelers wide receivers? I mean, at least he stays off the weed. I could care less if he smokes weed. I could care less what he does, man. That doesn't bother me. Nothing. What bothers me with George Pickens is taking plays off. He hasn't ever gotten in trouble or anything. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his play on the field. If you're not giving 100%, you're useless to a football team, no matter how good you are. Guys, it shows. And again, yeah, he makes big plays. But if you don't go 100%, it definitely brings down the play of the unit, man. It definitely does. And it's something that can't be tolerated. And if Mike Tomlin don't got the kahunas to go in there and lay the fucking law down to George Pickens and get his ass under control in terms of his on-field effort, then shame on Mike and get George up out of there. I don't know. Is Mike afraid of him or something? He allowed the guy to be late as shit to the biggest game of the regular season against the league's best team at the time. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Nathan McDonald, GP going to go off once we trade him or let him go. Having a competent quarterback, which he's never had. Poor guy had to deal with Kenny for his first 2 years to start. I agree those factors are good, are reasonable to point out. Definitely. I agree with that. But it still doesn't get down to why the reason that I want to trade him, guys. It doesn't get to that reason. All these things that you're talking about don't ever get to the reason that the main one, the main reason that his play is not good enough. And that is half-assing plays, man. Guys, nothing is an excuse for that. There is no excuse for that. You have to be better with that, George. Maybe the Steelers give him that opportunity. And again, hold on to him until the trade deadline in 2025. Maybe that's the path. But again, guys, you cannot afford to have a guy out there that doesn't go 100%. Alexis B., I heard Mike don't want to utilize the middle of the field to minimize mistakes, but in doing so, you won't be above average. Yeah, I don't think it's that, Alexis. I don't think that's the problem. I think they just lacked the quarterback that could get it across the middle of the field because Justin was utilizing the middle of the field. He was trying to get some players involved. I mean, he could have did it at a way higher, way more effective rate, definitely so. But I don't think he was afraid to throw it across the middle. I think it's more with Justin was the timing, the play dynamics in terms of his recognition and vision. I think that may have hindered him slightly. But Russell Wilson has no excuse. The vision is there. The whole package is there. He's just not tall enough to see over the line, and it does hinder him. When guys are taking 3-step drops, Russell Wilson got to take a 10. It does hurt him, and he can't get out of the pocket like he once did. And then when he was trying to play hero ball in Baltimore instead of sliding, when you got Najee Harris and Jalen Warren in the backfield, he goes and fumbles the ball. Plays like that, he's got to, Russ just didn't get it done, man. And I was really had high hopes for him. I really, really did. I think Russ did some good things for the Steelers. One being, I think that he tutored Justin a little bit, and I think Justin learned a lot. We don't bother me, Matt Burton, farm work is hard work. I know it is, man. DMB just watched a Bros draft for all the teams. He had us trading up GP for Deebo Samuel. I'm like, heck nah, that's a sassy wide receiver. That's San Francisco's problem. What do you think? DIB, I don't watch a ton of mock drafts. And the reason is I don't want it to cloud my judgment, but I wouldn't be trading George Pickens and picking up Deebo Samuel. I don't think Deebo Samuel fits into what you're wanting. I don't. I think you need to go a little bit different direction. I think you need to utilize guys like Ben Skoranek, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson as your bottom tier guys. And I think you need to go out there, find yourself that big body, that real beefy type wide receiver. Debo's a tough guy, but I want a guy that's super, like a DK Metcalf type guy. That's the guy I'm looking for. And then I want a big, tall, speedster type guy like George Pickens. But if George could get it together, I'd keep him. But again, if he's not going to go 100%, I don't want him. And I'm going to look in the draft, and I'm going to look in free agency, and I want to go after maybe a guy like T. Higgins or something. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I feel like I would explore other areas. For some reason, I just don't get the vibe when I watch Deebo that he would be a great fit for the Steelers. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, guys. I just don't know if giving up a ton to get Deebo Samuel in the building would be the answer. I just don't think it is. Scorpion Princess with the Eagles, Miss Pittsburgh. Sounds fun. We need to tank for Arch Manning. I love Arch Manning, DMB. I would love Arch Manning, dude. Love it. It'd be an amazing idea, I don't think it's a realistic idea, but it's definitely an amazing idea. Steve Winters in the house from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. What's up, Steve Winters? Hello, Jason. Hope you and your family are doing well. Hope your basketball team did well over the weekend. And as far as the Steelers go, we have to be patient. That's all there is to it. Absolutely, Steve. You hit it on the head. And thank you. We're making it by. Again, we got a little rocky road here with my grandmother, 87 years old. Really has led a great life. The greatest grandma ever. Super awesome, man. Amazing woman, led an amazing life, and I couldn't have asked for a better woman in my life. So definitely tough, But, hey, it's life, guys, and life happens. But it is what it is. And the basketball team did do well. So thank you. I appreciate that. The boys and girls picked back up this weekend, and they definitely got their confidence back and definitely got themselves back on track. So we have one more regular season game, and then we approach the playoffs, and I have really high hopes for these kids. They're amazing kids. They're such great kids, man. Such great, great kids. Whew. All right, let's move on. Matt Burton, too many ex-Ravens on this team need to wash the stink off them first. Yeah, wash that rat bird shit off your body before you come in the building, baby. I love that, Matt. Steve says they got to make a lot of changes, and us fans, we have to be patient with them, hopefully making the right decisions and build the right way. Yeah, Steve, patience is going to be the key for the fan base right now. Absolutely. Definite patience for the fan base. And again, I know it's tough. Adam O'Neill, move on from Mike Tomlin. I would love to, Adam. Nathan McDonald, I think our biggest problem is playing people out of position than what they played in college. Look at Dotson. Leaves and plays his normal position and is the top 3 in the league for protection. Nathan, I'm not saying you're wrong, buddy. I really am. I really am not. I can agree, definitely. I think it's something the Steelers got to quit trying to think that they can shuffle everybody and fix everybody and tailor make everybody to do exactly what they want. Sometimes you got to bring guys in that are definite position specific along that offensive line. It's something that I feel like they get out of whack sometimes with trying to switch people around a little bit too much. Mark Collins, I have another move on the offensive line to go get Becton from Philly. He and Stanley fixes our offensive line left to center. Yeah, man, I'm not opposed to those moves at all, Mark. I don't think you're off base. I actually hope they draft Junkins, Ohio State running back. He is a power guy, but he is a home run at any point. I like Junkins also, man. Definitely was impressed with that Ohio State roster in the championship game, the college championship game. I really watched that intently, and that was the only real college action that I really, really watched intently. And I gotta say, I was very impressed with a lot of the talent Ohio State had. The Steelers could fix the cornerback room if we trade or restructure Minka's contract and sign DJ Reed, Kadarius Ward as corner 1 and 2, then sit Joey Porter until he stops grabbing. Sitting Joey Porter isn't the answer. I think Joey Porter's just fine, guys. And I understand what DMB is saying. The penalties were a major, major issue, a major point of concern. But Joey Porter Jr. is a great talent and is going to develop into a very fine football player and one of the league's better corners, in my opinion. He has the body type, he has the speed and athleticism, and I think he has the football IQ and football pedigree throughout his life to really be good. And I think that those problems will work themselves out. Definitely the league's rules don't favor defenders. So Joey's really got to learn how to get it done without the referees seeing it, because every corner plays grabby football. They just do it in a way that, they don't get caught, and Joey's got to learn those things. And I think he will. I think he will progress. I like the way the young man plays, and I think that you need to match him up with somebody else on the other side to take a little bit of the pressure off of Joey Porter. I liked Dante Jackson. I thought he was a quality acquisition. However, that back injury just proved to be too much for him to overcome, and that's where you get scared bringing a guy like him back. And Corey Trice's injury history really is concerning, and it's really hindered his growth and his development over the last 2 seasons. So definitely got to go out there and make a move, and I wouldn't be opposed, DMB, to any big-name corner either in free agency. And guys, look at the draft board. Look at roughly the top 75 players in the draft, you're going to find a tremendous amounts of cornerbacks. I think it's a very cornerback-rich draft. I think it's a very defensive front-rich draft. And I think the Steelers could utilize both of those positions. And I don't see why they wouldn't reach out in the draft for those two players. But I do think that they need to focus on skill position players and definitely make a concerted effort to bring in a very high-value skill position wide receiver. I think it's a must. Yeah, but definitely defensive line and cornerback is something that you can definitely find in this draft, and I think it's something definitely the Steelers will pick. I do believe, guys, in the first 3 rounds, I think in no particular order, you see a guy along the defensive front. I think you see a cornerback, and I think you see a wide receiver or a running back. That's what I think you see. Whether it's right or wrong, I still believe that to be true. I believe that to be the way they go. I believe maybe if like a guy like Genty's there or something, maybe they do make that move. I don't know. But I definitely think that they go after some sort of skill position player for sure, wide receiver or running back for certain. I believe that's their first round pick, and I think a defensive lineman is a second round pick, and I believe they find a way to make their next selection a cornerback, or perhaps even move up or figure out a way to get up there and grab a cornerback, a highly effective cornerback. Again, maybe they go quarterback too. That's a possibility, but I really truly believe that it'll be dependent on free agency also, and that's why I haven't really made my real harsh, definitive draft predictions as of yet, because I have to see that free agency play out as to all of you. So we'll keep going, guys. Sorry, we're about 50 minutes in. So, again, I need 3 more of you to double tap that screen. Get us up to 40 likes here. We're always chasing 100 likes here on the live stream. You can support the channel by super chats. There's ways in the bio you can support the channel. But the easiest way to support the channel is just by hitting that like button. It's absolutely free. Also, sharing the shows each and every single day. And, again, my apologies. I haven't been doing daily uploads, but guys, I have a very, very full plate right now. That's been mentally exhausting. So I'm still doing our live shows because I want to bring that to you guys each and every day, and I feel like it's the most important part of the channel. So we'll continue those. I'll fit daily shows in when I can. Maybe tomorrow's one of those days, but we will see how this all rolls. No, Matt, I don't think they do, man. DMB, true, I was just playing with my comment. Buddy, this is the place to play around with comments, man. This is the place to voice your opinion right here on Steel City Live in the show Mike Drop Sports. Again, guys, look for... my son just asked me, what time's the show end? When it ends, baby. Steelers Nation, hello. 715, roughly usually 7. Yeah, that's about time's up. We're almost done, guys. Pickens is a goofball. I believe so, too, B-House. Miss Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't think he is. Yeah, Black and Gold says, how I missed the days of Yancey Thigpen, Charles Johnson, Ernie Mills, Eric Green. We didn't have the AB, Juju, and Pickens drama. I know, those were nice days, man. Definitely. I loved Yancey. Yancey was one of my favorites. Lewis Lips was a favorite of mine growing up. A guy that I thought was absolutely fucking awesome was Louis Lips. One of the best, man. I loved watching Louis Lips play football. Yancey Thigpen was another one of my favorite wide receivers for the Steelers. Stone. I don't know why he always stood out to me for some reason. I loved Mean Green, Eric Green, whatever they called him, Mean Eric Green. I loved him. I don't remember Ernie Mills too much. Charles Johnson. Zach Curry, not a chance. The whole Denver locker room smokes weed. Yeah, they probably do. It's legal there. Pittsburgh 412 wideout issues with us has been issues for years. It's like there is no adult in the locker room any longer. It has been for several years. Pittsburgh 412, absolutely, definitely, and it started with AB when he went off the rails. Before that, though, AB had a 6-year run, guys, that was absolutely matched by nobody. Antonio Brown, his 5 or 6 year run in the NFL. He was the league's best and a Hall of Fame type player. He was absolutely dominant, and he worked his fucking ass off, guys. And that's something that cannot be overlooked, man. But once he went off the rails, we have had a continual decline in that wide receiver room. A team that was once praised for their ability to go out in the late rounds and bring in high value wide receivers has kind of slipped out of that and kind of lost that reputation a little bit. All right, guys, any one more person, go ahead and double tap that screen, hit that like button for us here on Steel City Live. I truly appreciate it. Send us out into that YouTube algorithm. Zaw Curry can't see through the smoke clouds in the locker room in Denver. Home games. Devin Burkett in the house. As long as the Steelers avoid being a quarterback graveyard by signing Rodgers or Kirko Chains, then we should have a real future giving Fields the keys and drafting someone soon. Yeah, getting older is not the answer, man. And again, that's why I'm opposed to any type of older quarterback trade, any type of older quarterback being brought in through free agency. I'm just not on board with it. I just feel like it's not the way to go. I feel like Justin Fields is the only logical choice. He's the only one, I feel like, in this quarterback landscape that gives you tremendous upside, ability to run the football from the quarterback position, and a real lottery pick at a chance to possibly be good if put in the right situation. Why not get Justin Fields? And I'm sure a lot of other teams are thinking the same thing. Joe Vlogs, no changes for mediocre Mike up until now. Tony, give the peasants bread and whatever that meant. I don't know what you mean, Tony. DMB, there are adults in the locker room, but they are on defense side and they are fed up. Plus, Mike doesn't choose the captains right for our team. Devin Burkett, we will see how much Pickens cries when he ends up with a bum team and washed quarterback more interested in Magic City clubs than the football field, like Kirko Chain, Shane Ash. Who should be our quarterback? I think it should be Justin Fields. Pittsburgh 412, why get Debo? They wouldn't know how to use him correctly. He is a multi-tool at the position. Yeah, I just don't see him fitting right, and agreed. I think that may be part of it too, Pittsburgh 412. I don't see the ability from the coaching staff to properly utilize him. I just don't. Mark Collins, I am praying. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very, very much. DMB, what do you mean, black and gold? We do screens on 3rd and 13. Yeah, we do run the football on 3rd and 13 a lot, too. Kevin G. Films, Russ and Rogers incoming. Devin Burkett, ex-Ratburg players stink like rodent piss for sure, except Mark Andrews. All the homies love Mark Andrews. Hey, what about Justin Tucker, man? No wonder he's missing so many field goals. That dude's a fucking pervert, man. Chicago Sports Pug, why are you so invested in a terrible franchise? The same reason you're invested probably in a Chicago sports franchise that can't win shit, that can't get out of their own way. Probably the same reason. Because I love the franchise. It's a winning franchise. It stands for something that I like, and that's being a winner. It stands for integrity and hard work, and that's what Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh, stands for. And that's what I like to stand for. And that's why I support the franchise that I do. Matt Burton, 65 was a logjam, but not moving to the right side, thinking he was real left tackle in the NFL. Yeah, he sucks, man. He played himself into the bench. Knights Baseball, who is our receiver without Pickens? You got to build that room, and I understand the concern. I do, Knights Baseball. I absolutely understand the concern, but sometimes you got to cut fat in order to get better. And sometimes you got to figure out that players don't fit your personality, and I don't think he does. DMB, Stanley and Becton won't come here because of our offense is basic. Black and gold. Would taking a chance on Hollywood Brown from the Commanders be worth it in the free agency? Hollywood Brown from the Chiefs? I don't know what his contract looks like. There is a wide receiver for the Commanders that is going to be in free agency that I wouldn't mind the Steelers getting. And his name is slipping in my mind right now. But he's a guy also that's a 3, you know. You got to watch how many 3s you get in the building. What's up, Tyrone? Be safe and trade up for Mason Graham, round 1. Yeah, but the Steelers don't have a significant amount of capital this year either. That's the problem, Tyrone, with trading up right now for the Steelers. Their draft capital just doesn't ring out as amazing, you know? Mark says they need to bring in two guys to work with Porter, Rod Woodson, Mel Blount, or Ray Williams. Hey, man, bringing old players back to work with guys is never a problem for me. They need to draft defensive tackle Williams from Ohio State. Hey, man, wouldn't hurt. See you, Za. Yeah, man, me too, Mark. Riggs Steel 10-21. Steelers need to build around Justin. Mark Collins, they probably won't do that because they just want D-line depth. We still support you no matter what. Pittsburgh 412. Hey, am I the only one that still wonders, damn, if Steph 2 would no. No, dude. I think about that often, Pittsburgh 412. Man, that sucked. But, it just tells you sometimes what grief can do to you. Definitely can run you into the ground, man, a little bit. Definitely. All right, guys, I got to wrap up this show and get myself moving here for the evening. And again, truly appreciate you guys. Always an amazing turnout here on Steel City Live. So much support from you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. We're chasing 5,000 subscribers right now. We should get there before too long. So we're almost, I believe, to about that 4,500 range. So let's continue to battle there. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also share and like the show each and every day. And we will continue to upgrade and keep coming at you with more and more content. Again, look for great giveaways this summer for Mic Drop Mafia members. That's 99 cents a month. Always will be 99 cents a month. No matter if there's 10 million subscribers or 10. It does not matter. It'll always be 99 cents a month. That will never change. So, again, thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys. So, peace. See you on the next one.